Hello, everyone. Welcome to my show, TikTok, where we talk about what makes successful people tick and what it took for them to pursue their passions, follow their dreams, and achieve their goals. Hi, everyone. You're in for a fun filled hour this afternoon, guaranteed, because my guest's name has come to be synonymous with positive energy, humor, wit, honesty. What you see is what you get, realness, and an all around great time. I've learned so much from him about hosting just by observing how he works so hard at his craft and in keeping relevant but always real. Please welcome one third of the 15-year-old radio show and trio Boys Night Out, DJ, host, podcaster of Lecheng Pag-ibig, funnyman, and soon to be husband, Samir Gogna, or also known as Sam YG. Hi, Sam.
Hi, Myrza. Wow, finally, after, just to let people know, no,
Finally.
ano to, mga months in planning, diba? It's either I'd be out of town or
Correct.
whatnot.
Right. And then one day I forgot that you're my guest.
And then, but it was okay because I was actually in La Union at that time, so
Okay.
I was trying to manage, things from on the internet, of course, on that end. But it was totally fine. But finally, I'm
Yes,
here.
I'm so excited. Sobrang busy mo,
Oo.
Paps. How are you?
Well, there's just so much happening, like you said, so many things
I
I'm
know.
doing. Of course, wedding
Busy,
planning. You mentioned
busy.
that, kanina.
Right,
House
right, right.
construction is happening at the same
Right.
time. Events are still there. We'll probably touch on that later. How I probably managed to still do events despite the whole
Yes, yes,
pandemic.
yes, 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 yes. Let's
Weddings
show.
are starting to come back as well.
Good,
This
good, good.
little party, syempre wala pa. Corporate gigs mostly online, but a lot of weddings are slowly starting to happen. And it's funny how from before, I mean, I've been hosting weddings for like 16 years. And from, it became quite a show at one time, 700, 800 guests. I'm sure you'd know this. To now, I
Right.
host for a crowd of 80 people, 70
Iba
people.
na. Iba ng weddings
Oh,
na yan.
right. So much to
Pakita
discuss, so much to
natin.
talk.
Pakita natin ang dream house. Ayan.
Oh,
Yeah. Wow. Describe mo naman ang plano
this
dyan.
this started actually I started construction in 2018, late 2018.
Wow. That
I
early.
Yes, I purchased this lot in here in Artigas, no, which I think I got it 2016, 2017, ganyan. And then it was actually a house that was built in for those who are wondering, no, I'm getting questions off the internet, suppliers and whatnot, how it started.
Right.
Um, I purchased this house. It was a house that was built in the late 70s. So I was supposed to just do a renovation. When I had
Okay.
the posts, mga poste check for the integrity. And the architect and engineer said, you know what? If you renovate, you'd spend, a few millions, but after a while, you're gonna have to tear that place down. Kasi yung mga
Ah,
poste mo, we can
luma
guarantee
na.
it's gonna, hindi natin mabibigyan ng another 10 years max.
Okay.
So, I had to re-strategize. Sabi ko, sige, in that case, ipon konti. And then 2018, I just decided to, tear the old house down. And yun, started
Right.
building this na.
Not many guys can boast of building their dream house at such a young age. You're turning 36, right?
37 actually.
37. How does it
Mm-mm.
feel to have achieved that before your 40s? I mean, amazing. Marami ka bang ipon or what? Was this all along in the plans?
I guess I've been blessed with my mom and my dad kasi two disciplines when it comes to finance. My dad is the type who talagang works hard pero physically parang pokpok talaga, sige, work hard, work
Right.
hard. My mom baliktad naman, making her money work for her.
Ah.
So unfortunately, being born and raised in the Philippines, although I'm pure Indian, I believe, and it's sad to say, we don't have good financial education in the Philippines.
Not at all.
Oo.
We're well, that's
Not to but I went to Ateneo. And even in Ateneo, of course, I took off finance, accounting. Pero ito yung, balance sheets and all that. Nobody really
right.
teaches you how to properly manage your money.
Right. Or even habits, right?
Right. So I've been blessed with two schools of, of properly, handling and managing your money. So of course, it's hard work and also making your money work for you. So at a very young age, I was exposed to that, and my mom always told me, basta may extra ka, property, kasi
Oh.
it's finite eh. At one
Oh.
point, I used to be into condos before. Talagang,
Oh.
okay, condo, renovate, okay, rent, ganyan. And then I realized after some time, my mom always said, you know what? They're always going to build up. Condos are going to be rising left and right. Pero land is finite. At one point, yung land na yan, mauubos yan. So if you could, purchase land, do it.
How old were you when she was telling you all this? Bata
Oh,
ka pa.
probably in my 20s or early
Okay.
20s. Mm-mm.
At least merong voice of reason, di ba? 20s, we live it up, we buy, and you especially, you're a car guy, di ba?
Oh, so
20s
there
is
were
the time
also,
to form up.
and for
How did
guys,
you?
alam mo yan, syempre, of course, you want the whole, may swag ng konti,
Right, right,
material,
right, right.
branded this, branded that. But I
Siyempre,
guess
forma.
I went through that phase, bought my first, expensive car, and then I realized, okay, I sold it down the road because I had to buy this house. It's just, sabi ko, down the road, madali nang bumili ng kotse. Again, di ba?
Right,
Pero yung mga golden opportunities, of course, you have to take it when it comes, or take these opportunities when they come.
right. So, kailan matatapos?
Hopefully, if of course I've been stop and go siya for the past couple of years because of the pandemic. But hopefully, I'm in the finishing stages na. The structure's there.
Oh.
Hopefully, by the end of the year, sana matapos na to.
So, anong mauna, wedding or house?
Well, it looks like the house hopefully will be done first before
Okay.
the wedding. Oo.
At least. Okay, speaking of hard work, 16 months after the pandemic, everything changed, right?
So much.
No mass gatherings, so a big chunk of your income as a host
Which is the main
disappeared.
business. Diba? Host
Right,
tayo.
diba?
Anong business mo? Mass gathering. Ano una binawal? Mass gathering. Ganda.
But, pero parang humahataw ka naman. Social media everyday parang may commercial, merong endorsement, mga ulam, kotse, alak, salon, kuko, appliances, tapos. Kwento mo naman, paano ka nag-pivot and paano nag-change yung whole revenue streams?
I'm not gonna lie, when this whole pandemic, like I said, main business natin, mass gatherings, and
Right.
I like honestly, I think I've hosted probably over 3,000 events already.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Both corporate and weddings. I used to do 3 weddings a weekend, puno-puno yan, and people book me probably 3-4 years in advance.
Right, right.
So eto na, pandemic. Okay, cancel out. Hindi naman cancel, everybody was postponing. Kasi syempre, may mga down payment na, diba? Oh, but now, we can't have the wedding. Oh, sige. So of course for me, so I'm gonna honor your down payment. Let me know when your new date is, and then we'll sort it out. But it was really a scary time because for me, parang,
Sure.
I didn't see, and I think this is what caused a lot of anxiety for a lot of people as well.
Right.
Is that we know what's going on. We knew that the pandemic is there and daming stress. But I think what caused more stress was the fact that we couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Right. Parang walang katapusan.
Right when we thought, okay, sige, lockdown. Okay, cases go down. Bam. After a few months, sipa na naman. We had to go into another lockdown.
Right.
And now, after another lockdown, okay, vaccines are there. Tapos wala naman vaccine ng mga tao. And now, merong vaccine, pero meron daw bagong variant na naiiwasan daw yung vaccine and all that. Para it's just overwhelming for us to think na, okay, teka lang, kailan ba talaga matatapos to? Right when we found a solution, meron na naman bagong variant na, okay, this variant cannot be detected or cannot be, suppled by the vaccine. I think that's where the anxiety came from. Of course, it was. I was also feeding it a lot, especially because I was building the house and whatnot, and the income stream, of course, had to be there. But I took a while to pause as well. Even Boys Night Out was stopped.
It stopped.
3 months, roughly 3 months.
Right,
2 months.
right.
Um, but it gave me a good break. Gave me a time to think. And I hardly take these long vacations, so gave me time to think and re-strategize things. No, uh, of course, my brain started working. What do you do? What do you love to do?
Right.
And how do you still be able to pivot despite all this? Then the podcast came about. I had a brainchild with the podcast. Sabi ko, okay, and for me, it's always about sustainability. With whatever I do, whether it's
Right.
hosting, whether it's posting or whatnot. I was thinking, if I do a podcast, magsasalita lang ba ako lagi, ganyan ganyan. There has to be some sort of direction, you
Right.
know, so I can actually sustain this podcast. And even if it's 2 3 years down the road, I can still be doing it. So
Right.
I thought, ano ba hindi nauubos sa mga, among Pinoys? Love problems.
Siyempre.
And I realize, when you think about it, your love problems when you're in your 20s are going to be different from your problems when you're in your 30s. Iba na
Right.
rin yan when you're in your 40s, and so on and so forth. So I said, okay, you know what? Let me show another side of Samo IG that people haven't seen. Of course, the whole Kolokoy Boys Night Out, it has always been there. Let me do a podcast about love, giving love advice. I was looking around, and I said, sino kaya okay na co-host? Then I realized, DJ Chacha, who was also on the same, kind of giving love advice and whatnot. Sabi ko, okay, perfect. You have a guy's perspective, a girl's perspective, and it would be a good, good match. So I said, sige, let's do the podcast. Started it October. Luckily by January, I got a call from Sweden, from the bosses of Spotify. They said, we've been monitoring your podcast.
Wow, from
And
Sweden.
Oo, and I was like, totoo ba to? Kasi, syempre, kala mo, scam eh. Alam mo naman mga phishing ngayon. Ito, Swedish House Mafia, ba't ako tinatawagan ito? Di ba? Ang email nito. And it was interesting how I distinctly remember because I was about to go on a trip with my mom. I think me and my mom and my fiance were going to Tagaytay or something. And then I got that email and then the call, no? And they said, you know what, we're monitoring your podcast, which I just started October, November, December, like in 3 months. And one thing about your podcast is that people listen from the start to the end. So we
Wow.
get to see,
Walang drop off.
walang drop off. So sabi nila, okay, we want to sign you guys exclusively. Which means, of course, when you're exclusive, you can't you can't post the entire thing on Facebook, which we used to do
Right, right.
before. Like on Spotify, you can post like about a few minutes, but not the whole thing. So that break came. I when it came to hosting, I thought, okay, it's gonna be a long break, but luckily, you know what? I around I think June pa lang, company events started moving online. So here
Right.
I am, investing in the mic, investing in a webcam, investing in
Saka ka pa naman
lights.
nag-invest.
Oo. Sabi ko, babalik naman to. Ba't pa ako? Bombay mentality. Gastos, di ba? Babalik naman to. Relax lang
Sayang
tayo.
pera.
Oo. But no, sabi ko, okay, when the events gigs started coming in, I said, okay, maybe it's time to invest in proper equipment. So that happened. And then I had to pivot also my style of hosting.
Oh,
Because
how?
now,
Please
yeah,
explain.
because when you're hosting for an audience, there are a lot of things you have to consider. Let's say when I was hosting it Bulaga in the afternoon and Boys Night Out at night,
Right.
it Bulaga had a different target market.
Yes.
Diba? You have to talk to the people,
Masa-masa siya.
masa. People who are security guards are watching, people are in their karinderia having their lunch break. You can't be saying, oh, I wanna, guess where I use my 25 pesos. Diba?
Right.
Ang language dyan, paano natin gagamitin benching ko natin? Diba? Parang ganun eh. You have to study the audience. And I think there's a whole art to hosting, which I think people don't realize. No, but
Yeah.
there's a whole art. It's studying the audience, studying their language, understanding, what anong jokes pwede mo gamitin dyan.
Right.
Kasi yung jokes na ginagamit ko sa Boys Night Out, di ko na pwede gamitin doon. Diba? Jokes that I use there, I can't use, say, in a corporate event that have 50% expats.
Right.
Diba? So here I am, going back to the books. Sabi ko, okay, I'm going to be hosting online. So I remember that first event I hosted. It was a company in Cebu.
Okay.
it was their gathering on Zoom. I remember this pa. Sabi ko, shucks. Tapos yung theme matrix. No?
So corporate.
Corporate. Sabi ko, matrix. Kasi weddings tsaka personal events, wala lahat. For sure,
Wala.
wala yan. So, here I am wearing my matrix outfit. Sabi ko, oh my God. You don't know. And sa Zoom, nakamute naman lahat eh. Diba? It's only you. Ikaw na, hindi mo na ako natatawa sila sa jokes
Walang
mo.
feedback.
Walang feedback. And that was the main difference that I realized. Shucks, you know what? When you're hosting in front of a crowd, you feel the energy. Okay, benta tong joke ko. Eto wala. You are totally clueless if what you're saying is actually entertaining or you're just blabbing away.
Bahala ka sa buhay mo.
Oo, which was extra tricky. But then you also learn, a few tricks and lessons. And you go back to the drawing board. Okay, this worked. This did not work. Ulitin natin to. Wag na natin gawin to. Diba? Ito yung mga technical difficulties that could possibly happen. And slowly, I got the hang of it, Then here comes, December. Kala ko, December is, prime time for me yan eh. Kasi agawan ng host.
Oo.
Diba? All the companies, okay, Christmas parties left and right. Sabi ko, shit, December. Walang events.
Patay. Walang Christmas party. Kahit Zoom, wala.
Then yun nga, that's so lucky. Sabi ko, December. Then people started contacting me. September pa lang. Sam, we want to book you for our party. Everything's online. So I was like, okay, you know what? Sige, let's make it work. So here I am finding, I think that was, I think I remember December 14 or something like that. I managed to host 5 Christmas parties in one day from my house.
Wow!
Palasin na to, shorts, palit, coat, palit, outfit, next outfit, boom, next. So there's an evolution to the hosting gig and the style that I had to do to manage this whole online situation, but it did not stop me from doing what I wanted to do and what I love to do.
Galing nga. I think in the course of my research, I've seen your range. Like you can address, as you say, an Eat Bulaga crowd, super mass to mga paps, boys night out, corporate, English, Tagalog, love advice. Ang galing. I think it's also the way you're always studying, right? You're always studying demographics, the nuances of every target market. Do you ever stop like working at it or like?
For me, it's an ongoing process.
Right,
It never stops.
Right.
Because the jokes that I've been using last year, di ka na pwede gamitin ngayon. Diba? Totoo naman eh. Tapos, ngayon, syempre, okay, weddings are coming
ngayon,
back, diba?
recording, so hindi mo na pwede ulitin.
Oo. Tapos, syempre, itong mga COVID jokes, syempre, meron ka na mga bagong material. Hahanapin mo rin yung mga hindi masyadong sensitive, mga pwedeng gamitin. It's a constant evolution, heated jokes, studying crowds, what's gonna, make them tick, what's doesn't work anymore. It's just, you just keep on going.
Right. And you started in 03, diba? So, what, 18 years?
Oh, roughly 18
and you
years.
are no longer the youngest guy in the scene.
Di na.
Di na.
Marami na. But it's so nice because I have probably a lot of the young hosts would message me, asking for advice, for tips, even for how to price their talent fees and whatnot, how to do this, how to do that. So as a matter of fact, down the line, maybe when this whole construction of the house is done and the wedding is done, I'm actually planning to do a hosting masterclass for those who want to learn the
Enroll
art.
Ako dyan.
Enroll ako dyan. Parang I always tell people it's different from being artista na acting.
Yeah. For sure.
It's a whole different art. It's a way of thinking. It's being able to make salo any situation. The AVP dies, the kuryente dies, it's being able to manage these situations because you're the frontliner of every event, diba? So hopefully when everything's done, I'll be able to do that because it's more of paying it forward for me.
Right, right. And you have to think fast on your feet, right? Speaking of sasaluhin mo yung mga snafus, I watched in Tito O'Clock na you talked about your two biggest snafus where you called the head of Krispy Kreme Mr. Donut and you called Sunshine Cruz Sunshine Dizon. But what you didn't reveal in that show was how you even bounced back from those snafus. Can you tell us, anong sinabi mo after nung nagka-dead air, tas walang nag-react, tapos natameme lang lahat, including Sunshine Cruz?
Paano mo Mr. Donut, I was so new at hosting. It was 2007 yata. I froze talaga. Nagpray ako kay Lord, if this is my moment that you want to take me now. Because I just called the president of Krispy Kreme Mr. Donut. So Lord, take me now. Take me now.
How did he react?
No, of course, he was also like parang, he was very gracious about it. Hindi naman siya mag. Of course, everybody was quiet.
So
with the whole Sunshine Cruise.
What did he say after the Mr. Donut? Paano ka nag-recover from that?
Wala ako recovery nun. I was so young. I was starting out. Oo.
Newbie pa kasi.
Wala pa newbie. Hindi mo pa alam paano yung bounce back, magka-comeback from something like that. And then for Alice, si Sunshine Cruise. Oh, Sunshine Dizon. I actually blamed it on the sound system. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sunshine Dizon!
Ang haba pa.
Haba pa, energy up. Oh my God. Tapos yung mukha, sakto nagpan sa mukha niya, Sunshine. Tapos mukha niya parang, will you just call me Sunshine Dizon? Alam mo yung gano'n naman, yung asarap kind did you just call me Sunshine Dizon? Sabi ko, ay nako, direct sorry sino yung supplier natin ng sounds? Kasi sira yung mic natin. No? Sabi ko talaga, Sunshine Cruise dito, pero lumalabas sa audio natin, Sunshine Dizon, no? Sabi ko, I'm very disappointed with this microphone and with this speaker system. Ganun. If I remember, that's what I did. Oh.
Quick thinking.
Kailangan.
Another big part of your gigs, whether weddings or events, I think this is the first time I encountered you, was when you integrate the racial stereotypes about Indians into your spiels. I don't know if you still do this now, or is it a joke that never gets old, or in this day and age, is it still like politically correct? But you've managed to, turn what was once a source of hurt and pain when you were a child into like part of your spiel. Can you tell us how it originated? Are you still using it? And how has the effect been? And do you think that it has changed things?
The whole Bombay, the acceptance of Bombays or Indians in the Philippines, it was quite an evolution. I just happened to be right in the middle of everything,
Right.
When, of course, people know the story about how I've been bullied when I was a kid. Kasi nga, Bombays were known to be, so the 5'6", diba, in the scooter. Tapos meron pang joke na mabaho and all that. So, as a kid, it really crushed your ego, diba?
Right.
But, at one point, I guess I just turned things around and sabi ko, okay, why don't I just make fun of myself?
Right,
diba? Kasi, Bombay naman. So I started doing that, and then it worked perfectly well for me. Do I still do it now? Yes, of course. I still do it now. Kasi nandun pa rin yung meron pa rin siyang relevance. You still see the Indian guys in their scooters once in a while. But with all due respect, of course, the Indians now, they're in every company. My God, there's an Indian guy there. Either the VP or the president's probably, Indian or whatnot.
Global domination.
The global domination. So it took quite a turn. But the joke is still there, which I think is very, close to the Pinoy's heart. Or Pinoy hearts. Kasi yun yung nakilala natin diba? The whole Bombay 5'6".
But the first time you started doing it, how did your fellow Indians react? Were they upset? Did they like talk to you and say, why are you perpetuating the stereotype or what?
I never really got any hate when it came to that. From the whole Indian community. Wala naman. Kasi I never really, said anything negative about Indians. I was just
Okay.
doing the accent.
Right,
Of
right.
course, I was just saying 5'6" and in Mumbai, so it wasn't really anything degrading or whatnot. So
Right, right.
if anything, I still get invited. I actually just did something for them, yesterday because they're launching a Indian food festival. The Indian ladies
Oh,
community.
cool.
I still do work for them every once in a while. If they need my help. Because sabi nila, of course, you're a familiar face when we talk about Indians in the Philippines. So it's been very warm naman for at least the Indian community in the Philippines.
Right. And hopefully it's helped dispel some stereotypes. I mean, when you poke fun at it, maybe Pinoys will be taken aback, but then they'll say, teka nga muna, bakit ba tayo ganyan? Bakit ba tayo racist towards
Oh, 'di ba?
different
It actually
cultures?
took that turn as well
Oh,
somehow.
right. And then when you were a child, how terrible was the bullying? And what did your parents say? How did they help you cope with it? How was it explained to you?
Oh wow, walang ano. There's no
Like when you
explanation.
first cried to them, for example, did they say, etong gawin mo, or ano, paano ka nag-cope?
Wala ring tips actually. I just had to
Wala.
cope by myself. Wala, sabi na, everything's gonna be okay. Just relax. Don't listen to them. Classic
Right,
mom
right,
tips.
right,
Pero also never really retaliated physically or anything like
right,
that. Then I
right,
realized it's all at the end of the day, it's gonna be a mind game.
right.
So here I am making something out of it, something that you used to probably tease me with. Pero ngayon, iba na. But it was tough. It was tough. Because as a kid, your ego is easily shattered. Eh. It's not like, when
Yeah,
you're a
yeah,
teenager, medyo okay ka na, diba? You can make comeback. As a kid, it's very tough to
right,
hear these things. Oo.
right. And then you never also took it against your bulliers, right? The bullies who bullied you. Kasi minsan, di ba uso yung mga, to the bully in grade 5, who blah, blah, blah.
Oh,
Pero ikaw, parang you never did.
it's funny because uh,
Or
and
meron
this
din.
I can attest to, and I'm sure people who have been bullied, you would always remember, no matter anong age ka na, you'd remember the people that bullied you. You'd never forget them. Minsan
Okay.
makakalimutan mo yung ibang kaibigan mo, pero yung bully sa'yo, hindi mo makakalimutan. Trust me, never mo siya makakalimutan.
I'm sure
So, eh,
sising-sisi na sila.
there was funny stories. I actually hosted 2 of the weddings of people who bullied me.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not gonna lie,
And
nandun yung sungay at one point. Okay, sabotage time. Yari ka sa akin. Payback's a
okay.
bitch. Pero, of course, your professionalism is on the line when it comes to these things. But yeah, it's funny how the world turns. At,
Right. Bilog
tapos
talaga
may
yung
discount naman. Discount kapal na mukha. Baka kalimutan mo ginawa mo sa akin ng grade 2. Gago ka ba? Hinihingi ng
compute
discount
mo
sa
kaya
akin.
yung
Oo.
emotional trauma.
Lakas mo maka-discount, ha?
A big part of your appeal, Ren, is how Pinoy you are. Kasi, like you said in one of the videos where I was doing my research, you were the only Indian and your brother in Ateneo. So you grew up with a largely Pinoy barkada and you're very, very, very Pinoy. How Pinoy are you? Like, would you say that by all intents and purposes, talagang Pinoy yung upbringing, yung ano mo, childhood, and because like all the colloquialisms and all the references, Pinoy na Pinoy.
I think I am very Pinoy, being born and raised here. Tapos nga we were put in a Tenepa where all the for some reason I don't know why, pero until now di ko pa rin figure out bakit lahat ng Pinoy tsaka Chinese sa Ateneo, tapos lahat ng Indians just
Oo,
Lasal. Pero I
tama.
don't know what my mom was thinking. Na meron siya, okay, let me put one Indian in Ateneo, just there'll be some variety there. Okay. I'm very Pinoy. I guess I'd say 80-90%. Of course, you can't take away the physical. And of course, I love India as well. I visit India once in 3 years because my mom's family,
Oh,
they're all from
okay.
there.
All right.
I love the food, the culture. It's so rich. I always tell people when you go to India, there's no middle ground. Either you love it or you hate it.
I love
Da-
India.
Dalawa lang yan. Wala
Right.
pa akong kilala na bumalik sa India nagsabing, okay lang. Wala eh. Either, oh my
Oh.
God, ang ganda. Oh, never na ako babalik dyan. Dalawa lang yan. Wala pa akong kilala isang tao who came back from India and said, ayos lang, steady. Wala. Until today, I have
Ganun
to
yung,
still meet one person.
ganun yung impact. For me, I really loved it and I love coming back. And they say that for those who don't like it, India stands for I'll never do it again.
Yeah. Oh, yun. Exactly. Oh, that's the last time I'm going there. So I've embraced the culture. I love the culture. It's just, of course, I was, born and raised, but, 80-20, if there's a split that you'd ask me.
Right. Do they know you're a big star here?
Oh, my family.
I'm sure your mom's super proud.
Well, my mom's super proud, but syempre, hindi nila mag-grasp eh, di ba? Iba pa rin if, you're here. It's ironic because my mom's side, they're all from India. They're still all there. My dad's side, they're all from the States. So
Right.
I actually don't have relatives in the Philippines
Oh, at all?
at all, aside from my
Okay.
my direct immediate family.
Right. Kaya pala rin naging Pinoy na Pinoy ka.
Oh, and kung wala ka rin makikilala masyadong Gogna. Of course, there's a speaker who's popular, Mr. Arun, who's a great speaker, Arun Gogna. I'm not sure if you heard about him, but also a very distant a relative of my dad. Pero yun lang, you'd hardly also hear my family name, anywhere.
So are they all coming for you?
Hindi kami yung mga parang sikat na mga Prawani, mga may ani sa dulo, di ba? Sewani, Pranani. Sabi ko, ba't di tayo naging Gognani? Wala ba?
I think they're all from a certain town. Diba?
They're all Cindy. Yeah, it's actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So are they all coming for the wedding?
Oh, we'll figure that out kasi nga it's a bit tricky. Still in tricky times.
Pandemic
Hopefully things
times.
get better. Oh.
So talking about the wedding, the proposal that caught everyone by surprise.
Na-surprise din naman ako, so okay lang.
And also, a lot of people were intrigued by Essa because, your life is an open book and everybody kind of knows your love history. And in the past, when your relationships didn't make it, usually you would attribute it to lack of time on either part or the kind of candidness you had to you had to kind of imbibe while on the show, diba? Parang how can you have a girlfriend when you're gonna talk freely about love and relationships and like stuff like hooking up? How did things change with Essa and how did she for you become the one?
I mean, Essa is for those who know, she's from Cagayan de Oro.
Right.
So she's from from CDO, and I think what really caught my attention and my feelings for her is that how simple and grounded she is. Super simple, super grounded, super steady person. She doesn't even want to be in the limelight or anything like that. And I appreciate how she every day makes me a better person. I don't think I would actually be where I'm at today without her.
Wow.
And to think na I thought, okay, of course you get your breaks here and there. Then as an artist, you're always like, shucks, ano na kaya next year? Relevant ka pa ba? May gagawin ka pa ba? Ano na trabaho mo? She has helped me a lot, and even with my craft, doing my whatever social media things, getting advice, how to do the podcast and whatnot. She helped me so much and she guides me. So that's something that I think I really found super attractive in her and her passion when she does things.
Wow.
She works really hard, and like for me kasi importante like to find a person that knows what she wants. And that's what I saw in her.
Wow. Is it true that she turned you down 7 times before
Yes.
agreeing to grab a drink? Paano na?
7
7 times. Saan mo siya unang na-meet?
She was actually before the general manager of a pageant,
Oh,
Miss Asia Pacific International. No? She was the GM of
okay.
that. And then, but we met through a common friend. She was on a date.
Oh,
Oh, gusto mo ng juice, di ba? Ayan.
she was on a date.
She was on a date.
Tapos,
Uh,
ikaw,
tapos,
asan
I
ka?
was just there to attend the birthday party at this bar. And then we were
Wow.
introduced. She was into diving. She's actually a pro diver. That's her thing. And she was making me kwento. At that time, I haven't gone scuba diving in a long time. Kasi wala akong kasama. Sabi ko, oh, next time we're gonna go on a dive, let me know. So, hopefully I can join you. So we exchanged numbers, but never really, contacted her or whatnot. But I said, oh, it was nice meeting you, Ging. Let me know when you're gonna go diving. Then down the line, she reached me because she wanted to get me as the host
Ah,
for the pageant. So,
oh.
oo, we reconnected. Yung pala, humingi lang discount. Kaya pala, nakipag-meet. Naku po. Oo, kasi daw, grabe
Booking.
daw yung rate. Oo.
Ah,
Sabi ko,
okay.
okay, okay. Discount. My God. And then after that, I tried asking her out. Wala, laging busy. Not free tonight. Yeah, okay. So I still, would ask, I would ask, I would ask. It's not really the challenge or anything like that. I was really interested because she seemed, whenever I talked to her, she seemed like I love talking to her and hanging out with her, like at least the times that I was able to. Sabi ko, you know what? I'll still push for it. So yeah, one time sabi ko, sige, you know what? Let's grab a drink after. Aba, nagsama naman dalawang kaibigan.
Ah, may chaperone.
Oo, may chaperone pa. Alam mo naman, pag ganyan, di ba? Para kang mayor, mga ngampanya ka rin sa sa mga entourage, di ba?
Kailangan pasado.
Oo, hindi ka naman pwedeng. So that was the story. And then after that, yeah, we started hanging out. And at that time, actually, she was also seeing somebody else pa. A different, not seeing lang, parang dating. Not also,
Oh,
not officially together.
oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Tapos,
So, but I still pursued. I said I'm not seeing them and anyone else. And I'm really interested. So yeah, down the
so
line.
did
Down the
she
road.
say that in the 7 times that she rejected you, she was not interested? Or
No
bu-
naman.
or busy lang talaga 7 times?
Well, there were times na she just wanted to be home daw. Ayaw lang niya kasama. Tapos yun nga, of course, the reputation is there. When she asks her friends,
Yes.
nako, wag yung Sam YG, yari
I'm
ka dyan.
sure maraming nag-warn.
Sakit ng uli ang pinapasok mo. Of course,
Right.
that was also there, which she
Di siya
took into
nakinig.
consideration. Well, nakinig, but she was very cautious also, you could tell. Which, of course, I
Right.
can't blame her for. So she could, she was very cautious. I could nasisense ko naman. And, well, that was the story of that. It was quite a thing getting, then we got together. And
Right.
yeah,
And
the
it
rest
was
is
it was
history.
very interesting to see during the pandemic how your relationship unfolded from all the snippets that you would share. And knowing you, parang what you see is what you get, di ba? Parang hindi ka rin shy mag-share nung mga nangyayari at home, di ba? Whether it's plants or waking up or inis siya dahil binivideo mo siya, di ba? For such a shy person, ngayon, ano na rin siya with your mom.
Andiyan na rin siya. Oo.
Di ba? She became kind of part of
The
the
picture.
gram.
Yeah, and people actually look forward to posts, where she's there
I look
because
forward.
they enjoy seeing her in the
Right.
posts. So once in a while, yan, sinasama-sama ko, sama ka naman dito sa
How did
picture
it
na to.
happen for a formerly shy girl? How did it happen na ngayon, parang yung comic timing mo naman na rin niya, nakiki-spill na rin siya. Paano nangyari yun?
I think what really worked is that she's staying true to her character. She's also not trying to be pa funny or any kasi alam
Right,
mo yun, parang
right,
trabaho mo yan, sige, I'll just be myself. Which I
right,
think
right,
people
right,
appreciate. Na you could
right,
sense that it's sincere. 'Di ba?
right,
Hindi siya parang pa-funny or trying to drop a punchline of some sort. So people
right.
appreciate that. She's just also very, very steady. So I think when it comes to that, people got, we kind of like her. Sarili siyang vibe. She didn't try
Right.
to set a different social media vibe or anything. People could just really feel her vibe, and she's true to it.
Right. So now, how will things change with your persona in Boys Night Out? So, dalawa na kayong husband, si Tony na lang yung single. Anong magbabago?
Gino also, tama. Just
And Gino
tatlo,
pala,
magiging tatlo.
tatlo na
Oh.
pala kayong husbands.
You know what? For me, I always believe that there has to be an evolution for everything.
Right.
You can't. Boy Santa has been there for 16 years, and our listeners have seen us go from boys to men to being engaged to being married. Now, I always believe, like I said, going back to how I started, there's always a plan for everything to be sustainable. The business plan. That includes Boys Night Out for me. Transitioning to being married. I like, if you've listened to the show like the past 3 weeks, every week I give a wedding planning update.
Oo nga.
Wedding planning update. My God, eto na ang billing ng Teddy Manuel. Oh my God. Ganun, diba? So people have to, ganyan pala magpakasal. Ito pala, hindi mo iniisip. Mga flowers, kala mo, libre yan? Shit, hindi. Diba? Ikaw, pakialam mo yung alak. Pakialam niya, bulaklak. Diba? Yung pala, these things, so it becomes part of growing. And I
Right.
think it's blending in. I'm gonna find a way to make it blend into Boys Night Out as well.
Right.
Hindi naman mawawala yung usapang lalaki. It's that part's still gonna be there. But it's really up to you how you wanna
Right.
make that twist. I can be quiet about it and just say, bahala na, diba? Pero hindi, I want to make our listeners part of that experience. No, si Samuel G is now engaged in getting married. So I share bits and pieces in a very Boys Night Out way.
Right. Right. Wow. And then ngayon, you're giving love advice na from a man about town who had love problems before. Love guru ka na. So Shivaker has matured.
Oh,
Kumusta naman ang experience of giving love advice?
yung love advice yan, when I started on radio, I used to do this show called Temple of Love. That's how Shivaker started.
Right, right.
It was people would call and ask, have love problems. I would be this Indian guy who people could not see. Wala pa naman streaming at that time. Radio was just radio.
Patawa yan dati, patawa.
Oo, patawa. So what also made me realize that people
You touched a nerve.
When they have these love problems, minsan gusto lang talaga namin makausap. Even if, and this is something I have proven, even if you already know what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Let's say, okay, diba? Niloloko ako ng boyfriend ko, ganyan, my boyfriend is, girl, alam mo naman dapat mong gawin. Di ko na kailangan sabihin sa'yo, but you want to hear it from me.
Right.
You want that affirmation of somebody telling you, breakan mo yan kasi ginagago ka na niyan.
Right.
Diba?
Right.
Alam mo, but at the end of the day, alam mo naman yung dapat mong gawin eh. And it's always interesting to listen to different, like I said, diba, problems when they're in their 20s, iba pa yung mga issue nila ngayon, diba? Hindi nag-reply sa Instagram, na si Sinzone. Dati wala naman Sinzone kasi tatawag ka sa landline. Dati when you're gonna make porma to someone, doorbell ka. Ngayon, te-text ka lang, I'm here na outside. Diba? Dati walang ganyan. Dati, if you wanna, you have to make sundo, ring the doorbell, face the parents, because they're gonna open the door. And that's every single time. Now, diba? Either, grab, see you there, or, I'm here na outside. Come out na.
Ngayon, hindi ka lang ma-replyan sa text, catastrophe na, diba?
Then even moving forward, here we are in this emoji, world we're living in, where people even complete their sentences because the emojis are supposed to speak as words for the sentences.
Right. How lazy can we get?
So we're, interesting times, interesting situations. I love hearing situations, love giving advice as well. And it's been working.
Do you think that this new technology is impairing men the more in expressing their feelings? Like, men na nga have a hard time articulating their feelings, diba? Tapos ngayon, emoji na lang yung sasabihin nila.
Maybe yes, maybe no. Maybe kasi nga, I actually believe baliktad mas matapang na nga mga tao ngayon.
Talaga?
Oo, because even with making lande, they're more matapang because they just have to make lande. Pero pag they're in front of you, hindi ka naman makausap.
Tama. Yung social skills,
Oo, I miss you. Lakas mag-text na I miss you or DM na I miss you na. Tapos pagkarap mo, ba't di mo makausap? You can't even say hi. Ano miss you ka na miss you dyan?
So sa dinami-dami ng mga love problems na kinounsel mo, ano yung parang most common or most paulit-ulit na lang?
A lot of interesting ones, but of course, cheating is in different forms, diba? The whole debate between physical cheating, emotional cheating.
On whose part, men or women? I hear that sa
Both.
women on the rise na rin.
And
women actually reveal it online. I mean, when they call.
Yeah, because either they call in, then we don't naman show their faces.
Right.
Then we change the names, or they write letters, they change the names as well. So when you'd be surprised, I go through like 15 emails a day of love problems.
Wow.
Iba-iba. So there's that. There's people who ayaw maging official, diba? Gusto lang dating. The last one we had was gusto mag-live-in pero ayaw ng parents na mag-live-in sila.
Siyempre.
Oo, diba? And it's a cultural thing. Like, in
Sino
the
ba
States. When the States, when you're 18, okay, bahala ka na, alis ka na dito. But dito, iba, our culture is, okay, after you graduate college, meron ka pa mga 5 years buffer to stay with your parents, diba?
Right.
So,
problema rin dito, ayaw rin natin mag-move out. So, diba? Kung nag-move out ka, mas madali na yon. Pero parang we're perpetual children in a way.
Yes.
Like, saka nakarinig ng gusto ko mag-live-in pero ayaw ng parents. Hindi na yung pinapaalam.
Correct. Diba? So that was the last problem. We had a 49-year-old guy who wrote us. 49. And said? Kasi he's married with 2 kids pero may what if siya.
What if
Meron siyang what if girl. Meron siyang girl na what if.
From the past?
Na hindi pa rin niya mag-get over. 49 years old.
Anong advice niyo?
Sa akin, you're always gonna have what ifs. But you have to also realize how blessed you are with your current situation, diba? And there's a reason why you are there. There's a reason why the small decisions would always lead up the big decisions.
Right.
Every decision you make, the smallest ones, to show up, what even shirt you might be wearing, diba? What time you start your car, diba? The route, nag-EDSA ka ba magsi-C5? Let's say, knock on wood, nag-EDSA ka, may banggaan doon, traffic. Ba't di ka nag-C5? Diba? I mean, small decisions, tapos na-late ka sa work. Tapos na-late ka, pinagalitan ka, nawalan ka ng trabaho. I mean, it started with one decision. You decide to take EDSA instead of C5. I'm not saying take, EDSA or C5, but I'm just saying every small decision would lead up to bigger things.
Nox, mature na.
Grabe, no?
Pops, di ba? Ikaw ba yan?
Ganito lang ako.
Swerte naman ni Esa.
Hindi rin.
And parang your mom seems to like her a lot. It shows in the... Are they similar? Are they similar in ugali or temperament? Your mom seems to be so funny and so nice. I never met her. I feel like I met her already.
I think with being very simple-hearted, down to earth, pareho sila. So they get along really well, which I'm super blessed. Of course, when you're with someone, ideally you want that person to also jive with your family, diba?
Right.
So I'm very blessed that they've been getting along really, really well. But yeah, maraming similarities also.
So it's true that you marry your mom.
Sana, I mean, of course. I think subconsciously, I have to agree with that. They kind of look for some qualities that are in your mom as well.
And your mom is now herself an influencer. Remember when I say, tayo mo na siya ng IG, Tita Sue.
grabe. So now, actually, it's funny because people email me already. Parang, how can we get her for this vitamin? Ganyan.
Oh
So,
my God.
it's funny. But,
Ikaw bang ano
I'm
niya? Manager? Hindi
well,
momager?
even for ESA acting also, same. Because, of course, they have their inquiries also.
Game
So,
na game
it's
naman yung mom mo.
oo naman. It's nice that they're also game. And actually, they also help me out with a lot of my stuff.
But was she always like that?
My mom, yeah, she's been
Is
super cool. She, ever since, actually, people who know her personally would attest to that. Ganyan talaga siya, laging, alam mo yun, medyo bibo-bibo. Uh,
would you say that no, that's where you got your makings of a comic from a funny mom? Or how about your dad?
I guess more of my mom, if anything. Oo, na medyo, more the bibo type na medyo willing to do makulit things, ganyan.
Right. And so you've also revealed that your parents split up when you were in college, right? Was this
Yes.
did
First
this
year
have
college.
a kind of a traumatic impact on you and your future relationships? And for your forthcoming marriage, what are you going to make sure to do, or what did you learn from relationships because of that experience?
I think definitely it made a big impact on me in the way I view relationships. I was actually single for 11 years as well,
Oh,
uh, at one point in my life. And ano parang you already saw what it would do. Like I'm, living in the aftermath, diba, of
right.
things. So parang alam mo na yung what's gonna happen. So I'm actually I try to be as sure as possible, even when I date someone, even before they become my girlfriend, minimum na 8 months. I don't,
Oh,
minimum. I think the past four girlfriends I had, I really dated for a long time before I
right,
got together with them. Yeah, all the more marriage. I'm not cynical
right,
about it. I'm not gonna say it doesn't work, but um, I realize there are a lot of steps that you have to take to hopefully, ensure that marriage works. I still believe it's one of the best things, finding someone, sharing, because what's everything that you earn or you make without someone to share it with.
right.
I- diba, you're just gonna be alone and having everything. So of course, it's like I said, it's at the back of my head, and I'm on my end. I of course try to do my best to hopefully make it work.
And so far, what makes the two of you click? Like, saang bagay kayo sobrang vibes? Kasi it really shows when you, I don't know, from the videos that you
I
post, we can
I
feel
think
the love.
I think we just it boils down to morals and values, like what we think is right, what we think is wrong. Of course, you have your arguments here and there. No relationship is actually kung hindi kayo nag-aaway, may problema dyan, matakot kayo, no? But in essence, what we believe in and how we make things work
Right,
is key,
right.
no? So it's been helping us with our relationship. So yeah, parang in essence, we're the same soul.
Wow. Was it the easiest relationship you've ever had?
So far, yeah, I could say that.
Great. So
Everything just feels right.
would you attribute this to also your maturity?
Could be, also, and I guess it was also a good match of personalities and characters. Since, like I said, she's very simple, so parang there's a yin yang, a good
Right,
balance of energy, a good balance of things. So I think that also helped a lot. Oh,
right. You mentioned that your dream is to host an international game show.
yeah, yeah.
Anong plano for that? Or if not that, anong mga future plans? I mean, Sweden already came knocking on your door. That's kind of
hmm
international, right? Anong mga, what's on the horizon? What's playing in your mind?
Well, there are still a lot of interesting TV show offers, but I guess I'm a bit more picky with the things I want to
Right,
do.
right.
But hosting, of course, as long as I can do it, I would love to do it. And like I mentioned earlier, paying it forward, uh,
Masterclass.
sharing. yeah, sharing, the talent with people, how to do it, because of course the next generation has to be there. I think it's an industry or an art that would be here for a long time.
Right.
And moving forward, I think, of course, podcast, Boys Night Out, hopefully would still be there. I'd still be hosting events. But yeah, let's see how things pan out as well. The whole YouTube thing, it's always at the back of my head. It's just a matter of finding time as well,
Right.
because it takes a lot of time to do that. I'm not the type to just come out with content as bahala na.
But you're on TikTok because parang that's the big thing.
I have TikTok, but I'm not really active. Kasi
Right.
what I also realized that ano na parang there's a point like I want to spend a few hours to myself already.
Right.
Before kasi I was for the past 14, 13 years.
Right.
If there was one point I was doing 7 shows at one time.
Right.
But then you also realize that by doing that you could be everywhere physically, but then your quality of work is not great anymore.
Right.
And I had to learn the hard way. I think that was 2013 where I was burnt out. I was just doing
Right.
everything. Oh, sige, bagong show. Sige, gawin natin. Oh, it's a bagong show.
Right.
Sige, gawin natin. Before I knew it, I was, every minute of my day counted for something. I get to my radio show. It's be the last of the day. But the final 2 hours, I was just staring into the wall. So parang yeah, I'm
Wow.
there physically, pero wala na. You're napiga mo na buong brain mo eh. So
Right.
in as much as, of course, you want, to be present here and there, I realize that it really boils down to quality of work as well. You could
Right.
be everywhere, and that's possible, but it will really affect your quality at the same time. So now I think I'm finding that sweet spot between doing what I want to do and doing it with quality, like quality work, over just
Right.
being, sige, Jan, sige, gawin natin to, gawin natin to, gawin natin to, pero nawawala naman yung quality.
So quality is your non-negotiable.
Yeah, quality when it comes to work, it's really quality. And I know it to
Right.
myself, even like when I'm hosting, parang, okay, that was a good event. That was, medyo we could improve on that. It's really quality.
Right. So many want to follow in your footsteps, especially in this day and age of parang video is the new, I don't know, people stop reading. They just want to watch videos. So this is the medium that we all need to excel in. What's your advice for all of those who are so inspired by you and want to reach the kind of success that you have reached?
Well, I think, with all honesty, I think there's still a long way to go for me, and there's still so much to do. But if there's one thing that I realize, it's that you really have to, number one, be consistent, come up with quality stuff, try to find your niche, try to be different, because everybody's doing the same
Right.
thing. Everybody could put up a YouTube channel, but what would make yours different?
Right.
Why would I, out of 200 YouTube channels about Boracay or whatever,
Right.
why will I watch yours? Diba?
Right.
What will make yours stand out? Now, you
Right.
don't have to be in a rush. Sometimes you have to really think about these things.
Right.
What will make you stand out? What's your flavor? What would you do that the others cannot do, even if they wanted to? And then you come up with your consistency or quality of work. And don't forget, I think one of the hardest things that people don't realize is the importance of reinvention.
Right.
Keeping it going, come up with new stuff. You can't be stuck at a certain point, or
Right.
else when you think you're the best and yun na yun, that might just be your downfall. So just keep on going, come up with new stuff, and hopefully your fire still burns that way. You're still excited, to go to work, to wake up and do something new.
Great. Sage advice from our not so young, but forever young guy, Sam YG. Thank you so much, Sam.
Thanks, Mirza. Thanks for having me on
Thank
TikTok.
you.
Hope you guys
Yes,
enjoyed this episode.
it's been a great hour. Thank you, Sam.
See you
See you
soon
soon.
in person,
Bye.
sana.
I
Bye.
know. All right. Bye.